Jai Hind. I am Captain Yashika Hatwal Tyagi, the First Lady Officer from the Logistics Wing of Indian Army to be part of Battle Zone in Operation Vijay, popularly known as the Battle of Kargil. And welcome to Shaurya Tales. It is a series of awe-inspiring stories of brave hearts, timeless traditions and trivia from Indian Armed Forces. Today's story of Shaurya Tales is very special to me. When I was undergoing training of Indian Army at Officers Training Academy, Chennai in the year 1994, I was in Naushera company and our Josh cry was Shera, Shera, Naushera. And today it is my proud privilege to bring to you the story of Sher of Naushera. Battle of Naushera and Battle of Jhangar are the golden chapters of Indian military history and have immortalized a war hero who was a giant among the legends, an officer and a gentleman, Lion of Naushera. I am speaking about Brigadier Mohammad Usman, Mahaveer chakra. During partition of India and Pakistan in 1947, everything was being divided between the two countries, even the army. Now, Brigadier Usman was a Muslim and hence he was under tremendous pressure of Pakistan. He was even offered the topmost designation of being Chief of Army Staff of Pakistan Army. But Brigadier Usman politely and firmly refused the offer. He had become a vegetarian like his Dogra troops, and not only this, he motivated them to keep fast on Tuesdays so that the spare food can be distributed among the needy. He was a bachelor for life and a bulk of his salary would go to fund the education of poor children. What a man! What a man! During the difficult times of partition, sea of mankind was undergoing a tectonic shift. The scars that would haunt not only the living, but the generations to come. Pakistan had unleashed a terror of Qabilis on India. They entered our borders in thousands and pillaged, attacked, looted, and burnt Kashmir. Women were raped, men were killed, kids were thrown into fire, and properties were demolished. Areas near the border were in a critical state. And Indian Army was flown in for safety and security of Kashmiris immediately. Mirpur was threatened, Jhangar was besieged, Kotli was ravaged. In Rajouri, almost 30,000 innocent civilians were killed. In Chingas, 1,500 refugees were slaughtered. The list is simply endless. In midst of this chaos and mayhem, Brigadier Mohammad Usman was given the charge of leading 50 independent parachute brigade. And as first task, he was told to protect Jhangar, which was a very strategic village on LOC. Pakistani marauders attacked in large numbers, supported by artillery firing and mortars by Pakistani army. Despite a fierce fight, the untoward happened. We lost Jhangar. Well, Brigadier Usman had to retreat. His insides churned and the warrior in him simply wanted to fight back and get the Jhangar back. He took a Bhishma Pratigya. It was a vow that is only paralleled by only one incident in Indian history, and that is the vow of Maharana Pratap. Brigadier Usman said that till the time I do not recapture Jhangar, I am not going to sleep on bed. I will sleep on floor and on a chatai, that is a bamboo mat. Well, to bring in the feeling of national pride among his troops, the daily briefings were now held in Hindustani, and he popularized the salutation of Jai Hind. In January 1948, approximately 10,000 infiltrators attacked Naushera. In words of Brigadier Usman, the upcoming battle of Naushera has a national dimension. If we lose Naushera now, Delhi is not far for these Afghan invaders. We are fighting the first major battle of free India under Indian officers. And I will not leave Naushera at any cost. 50 independent parachute brigade repulsed the attacks of Pakistanis wave after wave. Well, it is reported that once 10,000 infiltrators had taken refuge in a mosque, and Indian troops were hesitant in firing on those infiltrators who had taken refuge in a holy place. When Brigadier Usman found out about this, he reached there and himself gave the orders of fire and made it categorically clear to everyone that when this mosque was used for the purposes which were not religious, it simply ceases to be a holy place. He was a leader with the sterling qualities of integrity, loyalty, honesty, and above all, logical thinking. Battle of Naushera was a textbook case of how a battle should be fought. It was a fierce battle. But at the end, there were almost 2,000 casualties on Pakistani side with only 33 on our side. It was a massive victory. Brigadier Usman was overnight a national hero. He was given the title of Sher of Naushera, Lion of Naushera. And the Pakistanis who had once offered him the topmost designation of their army were now offering an astronomical reward of rupees 50,000 on his head. But despite all this rave reviews and everyone praising him, Brigadier Usman remembered his vow. Every night when he slept on that bamboo mat on the cold floor in the winters of December and January, he never forgot that he has to recapture Jhangar. On April 1948, Brigadier Usman's strategic maneuvering and excellent war planning led to liberation of Jhangar after a fierce battle. Everyone knew about his vow, and so after this victory, the villagers of Jhangar brought him a bed and said thanks to him. Brigadier Usman had avenged the defeat of Jhangar. But Pakistanis were not ready to leave Jhangar as yet. Pakistanis were now bringing in their regular armies and were mounting the artillery attack. Waves after waves of attack were mounted on Indian soil. But Brigadier Usman laid the defenses like an iron wall. And Pakistanis, despite their best attempts, could not recapture Jhangar. Now, enemy knew that Brigadier Usman is the only hurdle between them and the victory. Every evening at 5:30 p.m., Brigadier Usman used to have a daily briefing with his officers in brigade headquarters at Jhangar. Enemy got this information and used it to their advantage. On 3rd of July, 1948, at precisely 5:45 p.m., the artillery firing of enemy precisely started bombarding our brigade headquarters. Everyone ran out of the tents and took cover behind a rock formation. Even in this fog of war, Brigadier Usman was very alert, and he noticed that there is this enemy observation post that is precisely guiding the artillery. He instructed the field guns to fire at that enemy observation post, and after that the firing stopped. Brigadier Usman got out from behind the rock, got up and moved on to assess the damage caused to the brigade headquarters. Just then there was a whistling sound like shoo, and 25-pounder artillery bomb landed near Brigadier Usman's position. A splinter flew off and hit him. Brigadier Usman was fatally wounded. And even in his last breath, Brigadier Usman gave very clear instructions to his troops. He said, "I am dying, but let not the territory we are fighting for fall. मैं जा रहा हूं, लेकिन उस इलाके को दुश्मन के कब्जे में ना जाने देना जिसके लिए हम ये लड़ाई लड़ रहे हैं." We lost Brigadier Usman that afternoon. In a rare honor, this brave heart was given a state funeral that was attended by then Prime Minister of India, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, and many other stalwarts like Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, and many others. Millions of Indians cried that day for the loss of this national hero. A leader whose experience and acute sense of war planning far surpassed his young age of just 35 years. What josh and what junoon that even in his last breath he instructed his men to give the enemy a bloody nose. Ladies and gentlemen, till date, Brigadier Usman remains the senior most ranking officer to have given supreme sacrifice in battlefield. A memorial still stands near the same rock in Jhangar as a reminder to future generations for the valor and courage of this giant among the legends. Lest we forget. Well, for the supreme leadership and inspiring courage, the grateful nation awarded Mahaveer chakra to this Mahaveer son of soil. Shera, Shera, Naushera, Bravo Zulu, Lion of Naushera, Sher of Naushera, Brigadier Mohammad Usman, the grateful nation salutes you. Jai Hind!